All right, we're back.
Developed by vicarious visions.
And since we just finished Spyro literally 2 minutes ago, we are going to start Crash Bandicoot. Also note that I haven't done any audio balancing, so if you do see any audio issues, let me know. We'll address them as they come. So my plan is to alternate between Crash and Spyro games. We're going to start with Spyro 1, so we're going to go to Crash 1. And then when we finish Crash 1, we're going to go to Spyro 2. And that's going to be my plan up until we finish all three games in both trilogies. So we're going to do a new Crash game. And I will say, like, Spyro has some eye candy, but Crash also has some really good eye candy. For me, anyway.
But, Dr. Cortex, we haven't determined the cause of past failures.
Moron! This Bandicoot will be my general. He will lead my Cortex commandos to world domination. This time, I shall reign triumphant. We are closer than ever before. Quickly, into the vortex.
Dr. Cortex, the vortex is not ready. We have no idea what it could do.
Failure again. Capture him!
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Indeed.
Prepare the female Bandicoot.
I do appreciate that she at least punches someone in this version as opposed to just kind of getting kidnapped out of nowhere. That's a very nice little touch that was painfully lacking in the original game. Also, cold opening. We're right into it. We go right into the beginning of the game. So you're going to notice that Crash is a lot harder than Spyro was, by a country mile. This game is a lot more lethal. Basically, Spyro had Sparx give him 3 hits before the last hit after that would knock him out. Whereas Crash has kind of the opposite thing going, where if he's hit once, he is dead. Straight up. And you see this mask next to me. That's Aku Aku. In his regular form, he protects me for 1 hit, and in his glowy form here, will take him 2 hits before he bites the dust. And if I get 3 masks, tutorial area is kind of teaching you the basic mechanics of the trilogy. 3 masks give me an invincibility. Actually, what you're supposed to do is use the mask to kind of run through this and break the crates on your as you run through. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to instead go through this half a level first. Oh, it's just 2 boxes. Okay, great. I made a mistake. That's fine. I do that all the time. So now we're gonna have to do this the hard way. But that's not the worst thing that could happen. And I'm going to use the D-pad because I find it a little easier to do with this kind of thing than the analog stick. Fuck. And that is the difference between Crash and Spyro 1. The platforming calls for a degree of precision that Spyro doesn't ask of you. And so, whereas I kind of breezed through Spyro 1, you can expect me to die a lot more in this game than I did before. Yep, start that death counter. This is going to be rough. But you notice that Crash has only a certain amount of verbs that Spyro does, where Spyro had jump, charge, flame, and glide as his 4 primary verbs. Pretty much Crash just has jump and spin as his primary verbs. Whew! That was precarious. As you see, when you break every box, you get the gem. Now, I want to explain something about Crash 1 while I'm thinking about it, because this is a very welcome change in the remake. In the original Crash 1 game, the PS1 version of this game, to acquire a gem, you had to break every single box in a level and beat that level without dying a single time. If you died even once, even if you got all the boxes in that run, you were unable to collect the gem at the end of the stage. Now, as you can see, I died once in that level and got the gem. So in the remake, they changed that. So if you died in a level, Kelly, to answer your question, the question asked is how are we supposed to try again? If you died in the level, you just had to exit level and start over from scratch from the beginning of the level. Because Naughty Dog vastly underestimated how hard this game was. They have publicly apologized for this mistake on numerous occasions, because that is an unreasonable demand on players. And they are now acutely aware of this, the dev people who were responsible for the original version of this game. They are acutely aware of their miscalculation. But yeah, if you died in a level, if you wanted the gem, you basically had no choice but to just eat crow and start over from the beginning of the level. And that is why this is the only game whose 100% run is not canon. Also, Crash did shit like this, where if you time it wrong, then you just die when you're trying to get extra life. Like, you'll notice I'm going to make a lot more mistakes here than I did in Crash in Spyro. And you're probably wondering why I didn't just spin those boxes, because the developers had a tendency to include TNTs in crates like that as a trap. And so I've just kind of been raised to not wantonly spin boxes. You notice that when I got that third Tawna head as well, it unlocks this portal, which is a bonus level. Also, yes, you can spin away extra lives, lumber fruit if you're careless. You can just give those up on accident. So these are challenges that you can unlock by getting 3 heads of the same person. As you can see, it tells me in the original game it didn't have that readout at the end where I knew how much I had on me in that level. Like in the original game I didn't have that there was 5 boxes level and you've gotten X number of them. That wasn't there. They added that in the remake. Like where Spyro could mostly just hang on its core platforming, they made a lot of very small but very important changes to the way this game functions on a deep level. Now you see I'm missing 3 boxes because there's a yellow gem that I need to get 100% in this level, so I can't actually 100% it, but that's fine. Like, this game is hard. The original Crash 1 is especially hard. The whole trilogy is kind of hard. They did not pull their punches in this. Aim high in life and watch out for flying boxes. Yes, the dragon was actually talking about Crash this whole time. Yeah, these gate levels can be a pain in the ass. You are right to call out this, Xenochrist. Oh boy. So as a rule, I'm going to go for 100% for these runs, but I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to Crash 1, that's not going to happen. I'm not 100% in this game. I've never have, I never will, I don't care. Fuck this game. I don't have the time or the patience to go through this 100% and get everything perfect. I just don't. I just don't, and I don't care. And so I'm sorry to disappoint somebody, but I just cannot make that promise. I'm going to make that flat out right now. This game is going to not be 100% run. I just can't do that. I want to play as well as I can, but I'm not going to promise something I can't deliver on. Okay. As always, those rounds are just the complete wrong times. Now, I will say a lot of these bonus levels get harder as the game progresses. To where in the original game they could actually be the reason why you don't get gems, is because these bonus levels are just too hard to beat. Because in the original Crash Bandicoot, if you didn't... I don't know what I'm missing, I don't care. In the original Crash Bandicoot game, if you didn't get the bonus level correct the first time you went through it, you were locked out. You couldn't retry it. Like, this game was famously brutal. And they've done a lot of quality of life. Like in this remake, if you don't 100% a level, you can't bonus level. You can just retry it. They're not trying to kill you the way that the original developers apparently were trying to. I'm going after boxes, you ask? It's because I like getting the Wampa fruits for the extra lives. And because instincts die hard. The stream is acting up for me. Are you guys fine? Are you having any issues on your end with the stream? Why are boxes collectible? I assume because, they had nothing else to collect at the time? That's a good question. I don't actually have an answer to that. Forgive me for being a little quiet. That's a... No, the question was why are boxes a collectible item in this game? Like, as opposed to, like, gems and Spyro. And the answer is I don't know. Upstream. You can beat level. The Uncharted 4 version of that level, you can actually beat 100%. What is this platform here? I've always found this type of level to be kind of tricky. The only reason I'm at all decent at doing talking while playing is because I've had a very long amount of time to practice and get better at it. It is not something you just do. It is very much a learned skill. It's something that you have to actively practice to get better at. Notice the difference between the red ones that trigger when you jump versus these that snap at fixed intervals. A lot of gems. A lot of gem paths early on in the game. Jump, jump. And one more bonus. They're admittedly very generous with bonus levels in the beginning sections of the game. Doot, 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 doot. I do like that in the original version of this game, whenever you got the Indian Tar level, Tana would just do the Vanna White kind of thing, where she'd raise her arms. But in this, they actually remember that she is ostensibly the target and being kidnapped, and do try to abduct her as opposed to make her kind of like, oh, she's just kind of here for some reason. The developers of this game are kind of like Naughty Dog had some screws loose when they made Crash 1. think we're almost at our first boss fight. And you'll... Oh, yeah, here. Papu Papu. You'll notice that the boss fights in Crash are a lot more boss fighty, if that's a term that I can use, than the ones in Spyro. Whereas Spyro had just kind of like platforming with like you flame this guy on occasion, this is very much a boss fight. You can kind of cheese him by jumping on his throne. I'm going to try to avoid doing that. Also, in this remake, they give Papu Papu... Oh. Never mind, I stand corrected. I don't get anything. I was about to say they give you 2 masks to start. Yeah, but this is basically the loop. Actually, we are going to cheese. I don't feel like playing this boss fight. Yeah, this is the loop. Is you just kind of sit here on the throne, let him do his thing for a bit, and then bounce him, and then boink him. Oh, I just missed. This is an easy boss fight. I don't know why I'm being this bad right now. Oh, okay. I am misjudging jumps here, and that's becoming a problem. Yeah, this is not a hard boss. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Okay, I just have to commit to it. That's what my problem is. I just gotta hardcore commit to it. Just hold the button down and jump all the way. Okay, this is actually not that hard at all. I'm just... Yeah, just showing you Crash's ass. That's all I'm doing this boss fight. And speaking of asses, that's actually an interesting point about this game is that they oh, I forgot, you can play as Coco in all of the Crash games, but I have no reason to do that, so we're gonna just keep going. But this game was originally referred to when its prototype stage as the Sonic's Ass game. Because the basic idea, and you see this in how the game kind of plays, is that your playing was essentially a Sonic the Hedgehog game, but from a different perspective. Whereas Sonic was played from the side view, you're playing this from the view of the main character's backside. And so when they prototyped this, they had literally Sonic the Hedgehog, like 3D sprite, as their prototype. This is an actual story. I'm not making a bit of this up. When they prototyped this, they originally used Sonic the Hedgehog as like placeholder data. And because you spent the whole game kind of looking at the main character's butt, because of the perspective, it was referred to as Sonic's Ass by the development team. This is actually the game. This is the actual, honest-to-God game design behind Crash Bandicoot. I'm not making a single shred of this up. Like, I know it's kind of silly to say that, but that is actual truth. That is speaking truth to power. You say that Sonic is about momentum and not precision platforming, but if you play the old Sonic games, there was a lot of precision platforming in those games. This is actually relatively on par with Sonic the Hedgehog. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Yeah, that's a street play for you, Xenochrist. You call out something 5 seconds after I've already seen it. But I appreciate the heads up nonetheless. So I missed a Brio head, probably somewhere I don't care to look. Because we are not that kind of gamer right now. We are not the perfectionist Brandon Carey. We are just trying to get to the end Brandon Carey, who does not have the time to 100% a difficult Crash game. Xenochrist, I have done that thing where I also died a couple times in when I played this game originally, by jumping over the teleporter at the end of the bonus stage. I've also done that. I also appreciate that the more boxes fall on Crash's head, the more painful it looks. Like he's actually wincing in pain. It's a really, really nice touch. It does add a little bit of comedy flair to that. I always hated these levels growing up. I hated them. I find them to be like the bane of my existence, these levels. Thankfully for this game, we are just trying to finish them. I do not care if I get the gem or not. I don't care. I don't want to care. So we are going for actual completion. I mean, having said that, we're actually doing a fairly decent job of it. Woo! Holy shit! Okay. Woo! This level scares me. Especially in a Crash game where you don't have any extra hit points. Yeah, the polar stages in Crash 2 are a lot better. They are a lot easier to control. Oh boy. I am always nervous. How do I remember 70 lives? Because this is a Crash 1, and Crash 1 is hard. That's why I don't have 70 lives right now. Oh god, a gate level. Oh boy. I recall this one's kind of long, too. Whew. And let's get this mask, because I could use an extra freebie. Die. Jump. You know what? You are right, Xenochrist. Like the death animations in this trilogy are really, really good. it does do a lot in kind of blunting the annoyance of dying when you do get like a hilarious, oh look he died in this funny comical way. That does help alleviate some of the frustration that does come of the numerous times you die in this game. And fun fact about that, they actually developed new technology. Oh, that's convenient. They developed a whole new technology in the PS1 version to do that. I believe, oh, I'd have to look it up, but the way it works is that you have a, what Crash's model is less a series of polygons and more a series of vertexes connected to each other. And so they could just move those vertexes around when doing animations, or like vertices, like points. And that's how they were able to get a lot of the animations for his deaths complete. It also came handy because they could do that. They could help with a little slight stretch when jumping. Like, for example, when in the animation where Crash blows up and only things left is his shoes. Way they actually did that in the original PS1 version is by shrinking his whole body into the shoe, by moving all the vertices of his main body into the shoe, and so it looks to the viewer like Crash is gone, but in actuality, in terms of game code, he was just stuffed into his shoe. And that's how they did that kind of animation. It's actually, I would strongly suggest anyone curious go out and look up some of the way they programmed this game, because as much as it was hard to play and kind of frustrating at points, in terms of programming, there's a lot to learn about when it comes to Crash 1. There's a lot that they had to build from the ground up, more or less, to make this game work. And I am just thanking God right now that this game does not do fall damage. It's admittedly frustrating to get sent back this far down, but I'd rather that than, oh God, don't do this to me. I'd rather that than lose a bunch of lives because I can't jump properly, and this is actually fairly difficult. There we go. We're done. But yeah, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff to learn about this game. Now, I want to go back here because memory serves. We can skip a whole portion of the level by just walking over here. I don't know, like... Oh, fuck, that was... Oh, I got hit. That sucks. Yes, Dinner Christ, you didn't know that? Yeah, you can totally just walk, there's totally, like, a secret side path you can take to save yourself a bit of heartache, and there's no boxes on that stage, so even if you're going for a 100% run, you don't have to actually do 100%. Oh, I'm gonna get killed. Yeah. I hate that this... Oh, fuck me. I hate the timing on these. the... I'm gonna die a lot in this game, I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't know if I'll do an official death count in the post, but... I will die a lot in this game. We got one more chance to flare up, and there we go. Oh, fuck. Okay. Fuck! Oh, I hate these. I hate these little flaming platforms. They suck. Also, get used to me cussing a lot in this playthrough, because I love Crash. Crash kind of sucks. Fortunately, not yet, but at some point, the game designer will opt to show me mercy and start dispensing masks. Oh, no. I got this wrong. Okay. Oh, fuck! Oh. We're good. Never mind. Can't get over nothing. Okay, what I need to do, what I realize I'm doing wrong is, so, if you hold the jump button down when you land on the platform, you jump higher. So, what I think I need to do there is just commit and not hold the button down. And then I will have the time required to get to the end. I think that's what I need to do. I will say that I am impressed. Okay, even then I took the hit. No, this section just sucks. This section just sucks. Oh. Okay. That's fine. At least this one is safe. I was never a fan of these gate levels. I probably never will be. Ugh. Oh boy. At least I think I hear the portal. Yes, there we go. And to think, to get 100%, you have to go back with a gem and do that again. Fortunately for us, we're not doing that. I think I have time for one more level before we call it quits. Oh, we might be able to do the boss after this too, depending on how short this is. Cool. I feel like they activate when you hover above them, not when you land on them, which kind of messes me up just a little bit. It makes me a little more afraid than I should be. At least with these levels, it's a lot easier to see the platforms because of the camera angle. The camera angle helps a lot with this section, actually. patience is required in a lot of these games to get the timing just right, too. Yeah, Crash and Spyro kind of have a relationship going because Insomniac and Naughty Dog developed on the same offices and kind of collaborated and shared technology with each other a number of times. Oh no, I missed the timing on that one while I was talking. So to some degree, Crash and Spyro will always be linked, but like they are very different flavors of platformer. Oh, I'm gonna get... There we go. Okay. How did that kill me, though? How did I drown? Okay. Let's do this. I'm pretty sure after this is Ripperoo. So we should be able to get at least 2 boss fights complete by the time we wrap up today. And thankfully, since we are going for just raw completion and not 100%, theoretically, our run of the first Crash game should be relatively short, and we will be able to go into Spyro 2 soon. Because this is, I'll be honest, the reason I started with Spyro and not Crash is because Crash 1 in particular, out of the 6 games, is the one I like the least. Crash 1 is, to some extent, a very miserable experience. Even with the quality of life changes in the Insane Trilogy, it's kind of a really hard game to like. Which makes playing it, especially on camera, somewhat tedious. At least I haven't completely lost my touch yet. I also love that in these levels, the vast majority of the boxes are in the bonus section and not the actual platforming section. Like, the actual level that has 18 boxes in it, but there's 48 if you include the bonus level. That's kind of silly. Also, the original version of the Crash games did not have a box counter. Crash 1 didn't have a box counter, so if you didn't know how many boxes were in the level and how many that you were supposed to have, you could beat this whole level if you got all the boxes, then come to the end and realize you missed some. There was no telling that until after you actually got to the end. So I don't know how people got 100% in the Crash back in the day, because that seems like an impossible task. So obviously right now he's in a weird triangle shape. Oh, okay. So what I had to do basically is time these explosions. And it's just like, it's just shy. I might try with that other one. Oh, or I'll just die. Ripperoo is actually, yeah, he's a really interesting boss, design-wise. I like his straitjacket and his laugh. It's really cool. Also, when you touch the box, it remains stationary. There we go. Now he'll change his formation. Yeah, he's doing a diamond shape now. Thankfully, it's a fixed pattern, so it's easy to read. But I've got to figure out how I want to do this. Because you also have to time it so that he's not going to kill you when you hit the explosive. Ooh, this is a good way to do it. Alright, this time it's a diamond. Yeah, this... This is all an issue of timing, and this will be the end for us once we There we go. Okay, that's a cool animation. They added that into the game, and I like that. That's a cool animation. Yeah, there it's all in the timing, just recognizing the pattern and working within it to do him in. These are very video gamey boss fights. And with that, we're gonna wrap up this episode of Crash 1. Next week, we will continue where we left off here in the Lost City. And thankfully, we only have to beat the level. We don't have to actually do the whole... we only have 100% and everything, because I can't do that. But until then, take care, guys, and I will see you next week. Have a good day. Bye.